All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. We are getting into it tonight. Psychosis versus Silvermanes. Will Silvermanes remain undefeated? Of course, they dropped one game very recently, but still undefeated in the standings. See if that remains tonight as Psychosis attempts to take them on. They have elected for the red side has Silvermanes, and so we're going to get right into picks and bans here. Psychosis starting it off with a LeBlanc and a Twisted Fate ban. We'll finalize with the Shen ban, but a lot of mid focus here for the side of Psychosis. On the side of Silvermanes, will be a little more spread out. We're going to start off with a Hecarim ban, going into a Smolder and a Garen ban. A lot of spread focus around the map. Psychosis has elected to first pick the Caitlyn. That is their priority. And Caitlyn, a very strong laner, does have a lot of agency in this game. Also a lot of range and quite a bit of damage. And a pretty decent build path as well. Silvermanes, though, will answer back with the Ashe. Going to be another strong laner. We'll see what they elect to pair that with. Will it be the Seraphine, as we expect to see? Or will they pick up something else and leave the Seraphine open? They will indeed. It will be the Wukong. A good flex pick for the side of Silvermanes. Wukong playable in both top and jungle. Both Albi and Polaris do play that champion as well. Psychosis, though, has elected to take the Seraphine, and this is something that is a little bit interesting from both sides. Caitlyn not super good with the Seraphine. Of course, Seraphine able to easily enable any ADC she plays with, but definitely a lot stronger with the Ashe. So a little surprising that Silvermanes has elected to give it away, and a little surprising that Psychosis has elected to take it. But Psychosis also follows that up with a Mel pick for the mid lane. Of course, not going anywhere else. We do see the rest of the composition could be swapped with the Seraphine to bottom lane. Could be Seraphine mid. And Silvermanes has interestingly decided to show their hand. Has picked the Jarvan for the jungle, which means Wukong will be going top. Not sure I entirely agree with this choice. I think you want to hold the flex pick for a little bit later in the game, but Silvermanes potentially worried about that Jarvan ban. Jarvan also really good into Caitlyn and Mel. No good escapes available for them. So potentially worried about the ban on that Jarvan. But there are other good options for Albi. So a little bit interesting. But we'll get back into the second round of bans here. Will be the Cho'Gath ban first. For the side of Silvermanes, followed up by a Malphite ban. Psychosis has elected to continue focusing in this mid lane. Will ban away the Sylas and now the Orianna, the final ban of this game. What will RX Genetics opt to play? Will he pick his mid lane here? Likely, as he knows he's either going into Mel or Seraphine. And Mel actually a really good pickup, a smart pickup from the side of Psychosis. Seraphine makes that very difficult to play. Or makes Seraphine very difficult to play, I should say, as the Mel Reflect does cause some issues. But it will be the Cassio or the side of Silvermanes, and this is not a champion that we see very often, and a bit of a question mark in my mind. Cassio needing a lot of gold to really get rolling, kind of similar to a Castanen or a Vigar. But could be interesting, as Cassio is now allowed to buy boots, and in that mid lane does make her a lot stronger. The Mordekaiser response from the side of Psychosis, this is definitely an interesting pickup for their side. Mordekaiser could be reasonably good, into this Wukong. Also prevents the Jarvan from doing exactly what he wants to do. Cassio kind of the same thing. So Mordekaiser, some very good targets to ultimate here. We'll have to see how he uses that later in the game, but then finally it will be the Xin Zhao hovered and locked in for the side of Psychosis. Another strong jungler for their side. And this team comp is a little interesting. I'm definitely curious to see how it works out for the side of Psychosis. They have some good pick potential, a lot of damage, but not a lot of front lines. So do need to be a little bit careful, especially into the Jarvan and the Wukong. Ashe to start off some of those picks. We'll see what Silvermanes wraps up their draft with will be the Leona locked in. So a lot of front line. Welcome back. Game number 1, Psychosis versus Silvermanes. Let's get ready to hop into the action here as we do see Albi and Polaris on this top side. Taking some early control. Unfortunately, though, Mordekaiser not up there on that top side. And so, Albi will head back into his jungle. Get that party started. Going to be starting on the red side or on the top side will both of these junglers. Going to make a lot of sense. They really want to play towards this bottom side. Get their teammates ahead. Some good poke early coming out of Brat on this Seraphine. Of course, Polaris and Aslantil will be fighting back and forth. Polaris, though, getting the better of this trade will force the flash. Will take control of this top lane early. Meanwhile, in the bottom side, Psycho and Brat taking control of bot lane very early, but Pingu with a good level 2 will do a little bit of psychological damage to Psycho. Aslantil, though, taking a lot of psychological damage on this top side, will be forced to recall. Polaris using both summoners. Forcing the splash out of the top lane. Mordekaiser will get off a cheater recall as well, as both junglers starting to roam towards their bottom side. He will be completing all of his other camps before taking his blue buff. Meanwhile, Zinzao will take the red first before taking his Krugs. Genetics and Dusk Legends battling it out in this mid lane. A good hawk shot coming out from Demps. Does spot out where the Xin Zhao is currently roaming. Thank Pingu walking up to help his jungler secure this scuttle. I'll be potentially looking for a play in the mid lane, but likely will just look to take the other side of the map scuttle. And should do so relatively unknown, although Dusk Legends will spot out the flag right now. They should know that he is on this top side. Meanwhile, Demps and Psycho all alone in this bottom lane. Pushing away from Demps, going to make things a little bit more frustrating. Seraphine now walking back towards this bottom side, and Demps could be in a lot of trouble. Does greet for the cannon. May have to use his flash here. Does start to go on to Psycho, but Rat does spot him out. Now Demps, all alone in this 1v2, will fall on the bottom side. First blood going over to Psycho in this bottom lane. Aslantil and Polaris once again battling it out on this top side. His Dusk Legends will finish off the Cassiopeia and get himself a bit of an advantage in this lane. Albi now in a bit of trouble. It's the jungler of Psychosis spots him out. The TP, though, coming out from Genetics. This is kind of an awkward position. Does force the Xin Zhao off of this camp. Definitely a little worrisome. This Dusk is now level 6. Does have access to that Melt Ultimate, and already being a level up in this mid lane is going to feel bad for Genetics, but will be able to push him out of lane. If Dusk stays too long, could go poorly for him. Rat, though, going to go a little bit poorly for him as Demps wants a little bit of revenge. Oh, will not find it, though. Psycho, even though he's stunned up, will not be able to. Oh, what a good sword in, but Deng Pingu will fall, and Albie might be next. Psycho and Brat both very low, but Brat able to secure that kill. Bot lane for Psychosis starting to absolutely kill it in this lane. This is starting to look a little worrisome for the side of Silvermanes. But no scaling matchups aside from the mid lane. Polaris is going to have it all to do in that top side. Going to need to be the carry for this mid game is now Pingu and Albie looking to spot out this Drake. Will not quite find out just yet. Might be a little bit too late if they don't show up right now. Red team steals the Drake away, but Albie has got to get out of here. Dusk Legends is already level 7 on this mid laner, but somehow managing to turn it around. A 4v2. Taking the Drake and 2 kills with it. Aznatil also dying on the top side to Polaris. And we're going a little bit back and forth here. Some mistakes being made by both teams. And good job capitalizing on those mistakes. Turns out not having his bot lane there to assist on that Drake take was a little bit greedy. Did not think that Albie could get back out in time, and did pay the price for it. Almost secured that Drake, but a coin flip when you've just won a bot lane fight is not really what you want to see. Going to be a little disappointing for the side of Psychosis, but they should recover. In this mid lane, though, RX Genetics also needs to recover a little bit. Is now 2-1. Matching in CS as well. Aznatil will use the ultimate on Polaris. Polaris just trying to get away to not get that passive as quickly as possible. Ultimate ends, and Polaris is able to flash away. Not sure if he needed to necessarily flash that, but now Brat and Xin Zhao showing in the mid lane. Multiple members down here in this bottom river will be sniffing each other out. Trying to find an edge. Xin and Seraphine invading the bot side jungle, but Polaris going hard on Azatil in this top side. It's a very close matchup. He has the shield. No, he does not. Dusk Legends, though, now in a bit of trouble in this mid lane. Pingu, though, here to back him up. Psychosis really trying to get this mid lane accelerated, but just not finding the angles just yet. Demps, though, doing a very good job of backing all the way up, knowing that there were multiple members of Psychosis rotating over towards that bottom side. Pingu not there to assist. But a lot of deep vision for the side of Psychosis on this bottom side as Polaris will get his recall canceled. Azatil should not be able to secure this kill. Does have the flash. But no claw and not able to secure it. Demps now allowed to continue farming as his support has returned to the lane. And I want to point out some of the vision that Psychosis has deep in the enemy jungle right now on this blue side of Silvermanes. really able to get a lot set up for this next Drake. Will have some advanced warning when Albius camps respawn. Should know about when he is back on that side. Will be able to prepare for the Drake accordingly. Comes out now on this bottom side. Will not get spotted out thanks to the pink ward. Will not be able to find anything though, unfortunately, on this bottom side. Now I'll be hovering around this dragon, spawning very shortly. Drake now spawning in about 10 seconds, and both teams are going to be putting focus on this. Both junglers rotating towards this bottom side. RX Genetics already having his way pushed in, will be the first to move. Both junglers will spot each other out now. Good control from the side of Psychosis. Multiple members finding themselves in good spots. Polaris, though, trying to find himself a good spot on top side. Asnatil going to be taken very low by this Ignite. Will be half health. No Wukong ultimate. No teleport available just yet. Will mean that Polaris is not able to make it to that fight. Psychosis, though, able to take the Drake. No contest. Albie on the top side will give away this objective. Albie forcing the flash out of Dusk Legends with a good Cataclysm. Will enable Genetics to make a play, and will do so quite aggressively, landing the Q and multiple E's. Dusk Legends not having nearly as big of a mana pool. And Genetics opting for the Swifties. This is an interesting choice, and with the lack of play of Cassiopeia in this mid lane right now, it's not too many situations that call for the champion. We haven't really seen the choice of boots that she does prefer to go. Swifty is definitely enabling that Q passive. It will be the Rod of Ages. Will be a little bit late from the side of Genetics. Opted to build the Lost Chapter and the Catalyst at the same time. It's not finished, that Rod of Ages, and so that scaling will be a little bit delayed by about, I'd say probably about 5 minutes. Should see it fully stacked at about 25. Dimps and Pengu, though, realizing that something is not entirely right, and Pengu will now find multiple members. That will get stunned up. The ultimate used from Leona, but Xin Zhao is close behind. Good route onto Demps. But now Psychosis are in a little bit of trouble. Two other members of this Silvermane's team are down here on the bottom side. A double kill going over to Genetics. Dusk Legends not able to find an entry into this fight as the Xin Zhao trying to find something back. Pengu almost going down, but will not quite. Albie using the Cataclysm, forcing the ultimate out of Dusk Legends, but unfortunately just not enough stacks. No one will go down in that fight. An extended 4-for-0 in the favor of Silvermanes. Will put them in a 1.7k gold lead at almost 15 minutes into this game. Despite having to give up that second dragon, they are definitely finding the angles for some of these team fights. Demps now with the completed Kraken Slayer. Triforce on the top side for Polaris, and the fully completed Rod of Ages for Genetics will fully stack at 24 minutes, 30 seconds approximately. Once again, going to be a little bit late on that Roa. Usually you want to get it at 10 minutes or before. Dusk Legends spotting out Dank Pingu, but now Dems is in a bit of a pickle here. Multiple members on this bottom side. Oh, a good ultimate does collect Brat on that bottom side. Laris trying to TP down to save his laner. Will not manage it, but another TP coming out from Genetics. Psycho needs to run for his life. Xin Zhao falls to the Ignite, and Dank Pingu behind Psycho will slay him with that ultimate. Now Asnatil in a rough spot. Dusk Legends rotating over as well, but is it just going to be multiple members falling? It will indeed, as Genetics is now dominating on the Cassiopeia. Albeit will summon the Rift Herald up on top side, steal away as many camps and the first turret. Silvermane's starting to take very solid control of this first game. Looking a little bit rough for the side of Psychosis, but if they start fighting together, some of these fights could turn in their favor. A massive gold difference for the top and mid lane of Silvermane's right now. Both very far ahead. Genetics completing his second item. Cassio scaling up a lot faster than Psychosis would like. And now as the third Drake spawns, Dusk Legends finds himself in a very awkward position. Will get flag and dragged. The ultimate coming out from the Leona secures his fate. Cannot reflect that, unfortunately. Does not prevent the CC. The Mel will fall, giving Silvermane's guaranteed access to this Drake. But Polaris going hard onto the Xin Zhao in his own jungle. Will use that Wukong ultimate. Not collect the kill, but will force him away. Oh, Psycho getting hit by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Multiple other members of Silvermane's there to follow up. Psycho is done for. Brat using the heal to get Café out of trouble, but this mid lane turret cannot be saved. This is starting to look a little desperate. RX Genetics 7-1 on this Cassio. Almost fully scaled. Does have those 2 completed items. Still waiting on the Roa scaling, but at Archangel Staff, very close. Mel falling very far behind. Only 1.5 items completed at the moment. And a Hextech Alternator picked up in the mid lane for Dusk Legends. This is an interesting choice, as we usually see the Leandries come out second item. The double burn being very important for these AoE champions. And especially artillery mages that do go into this style of build. Meanwhile, Caitlyn has elected to pick up the Hubris. The item living up to its name. No stacks available for that Caitlyn. Baron will be spawning in a minute, and both teams are starting to posture around this top side, trying to clear out the vision of their opponents, trying to get their own vision down, trying to make sure that nobody can sneak this objective. Silvermane's decide to take it. It would be very difficult for Psychosis to answer at the moment. Now a bit of push cheese. Dark Pingu does spot them out with a ward. No members of Silvermane's falling just yet. This top side, though, completely in the control of Silvermane's right now. Very difficult for Psychosis to walk out into their own jungle, which is going to feel very frustrating for this team, especially how they were feeling early. Had a slight gold lead, just not able to capitalize on it. The early Drake fight feeling very frustrating for them, and kind of starting this cell remains just barreling down. But Psychosis doing a very good job of slowing this game down, collecting as much farm as they can, not putting themselves in too much of a risky position. Trying to prevent this gold lead from extending further, but the time clock is ticking, time is running out, and Demps landing the enchanted crystal arrow will find the ultimate onto multiple members. Dusk Legends, though, does get a kill back onto Demps and Polaris while he does trade. This is, giving over the shutdown to the Mel is not a good idea. Will be that Shadow Flame completed now for the Mel. Likely has enough gold, and indeed does. Not my preferred build path, but will be doing a decent amount of damage. We'll be able to cut through some of that magic resist with the Shadow Flame. And a 2-for-1 in favor of Psychosis for once. They're going to feel a lot better about that. Finding the angles is what they need.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
If they can pick up one more Drake here, they will reset the clock by a little bit. 37 seconds remaining on this spawn. Albie will be alive for this Drake fight, though. And every single member of Silvermanes is now down here on this bottom side. Things going down onto this mid lane. But of course, Demps cannot yet use the enchanted crystal arrow. Dusk Legends does have that rebuttal available. Now ping's going down on the top side. For this Psychosis team, they have decided they want to try and bait the Baron take here. Demps with the Hawkshot will notice that they have pulled it off. They will pull the TP out of Genetics for absolutely free. This is actually a really good play from the side of Psychosis. You get one teleport and spend absolutely nothing for it. Now they're going right back. This is actually really good. Azatil, though, getting a little bit caught out here, will force the ultimate out of Dank Pingu. But now red team has slain the Drake, and this is not looking good. The enchanted crystal arrow comes out, does land. Encore in response, but not a lot of members hit on the side of Silvermanes. Multiple kills going over to their side. Now only the bot lane remaining. Psychosis having to back off. And I personally like the play that they tried to make. I think Azatil getting caught out there just made it really, really rough. But sort of pulling this Silvermanes team back and forth between the top side and bot side. Psycho will complete the kill onto Polaris here on this Wukong. Getting something back for their side. But Psychosis are in a bit of a rough position. That clock is almost up. Genetics about to complete that row of scaling. Does have the Rylai's now on this Cassio. Going to make things very difficult. Baron minions marching down the mid lane. And a 6k gold lead at 24 minutes. Dragon Soul for the side of Silvermane. Soul Point. Excuse me. Going to put Psychosis in a bit of a position. They can give up this Dragon Soul. Infernal, not the most influential soul on the map. Potentially look for an Elder play. But if they lose Elder, it's going to be very difficult to play into the Silvermane's team. Psychosis now rotating towards his bottom side as Dang Pingu does go in onto the Seraphine, will secure the kill. Now, what can they get back? Albi in a bit of a rep position, will flag and drag his way out. Genetics trying to do as much damage as he can to the Xin Zhao. Polaris will shut down. Azatil, excuse me, will shut down the Xin Zhao. Or the... Goodness. Multiple members falling for both of these teams here. Currently a 4-for-1 though. And finally the ace secured by Polaris. It looked good for a moment there. They were almost able to find Albi. The rest of Psychosis just not able to put in nearly as much damage as they need to. And now Still Remains will leave their base in tatters. 2 inhibitors taken. Psychosis going to feel the pressure now. Break spawning in a minute and a half. Going to make things very difficult for Psychosis to contest for this Dragon Soul. Silver remains ready and back on the map, spending their gold, setting up for this next Drake. 26.5 minutes into this game, a 10k gold lead in their favor. Now hunting for members of Psychosis. Going to get spotted out by the Vision Cone though. Will not be able to find a bush to death cheese in. Lars here with his team. Genetics on the top side with teleport. Multiple members sniffing around this chicken's side. We'll be able to take this control ward. Need to walk together. As until not here. Dusk Legends not here. Genetics backing up as he sees multiple members going over towards the top side. And this, I think, is probably their best bet. Trying to look for this mid lane turret, but Pingu and Demps rotating around, trying to make sure that this is not an objective that Psychosis can take. Not a single turret. Aside from bot lane going down, but Dang Pingu has been jumped on by the Xin Zhao. A good ultimate coming out. Brat going to flash around to use the Encore, but the Cataclysm coming out onto him just means that he is fallen. Dang Pingu taking it very low, but multiple members falling for the side of Psychosis. Demps the only member to fall on the side of Silver Remains. DP is coming into the base. A wave still available for this team. Arx Genetics trying to do as much damage, but does not do a whole lot to this turret just yet. The rest of his team, though, will be there shortly, way before any members of Psychosis can complete their respawns. And 12k gold lead will secure Silver Remains game number 1. All right, welcome back. Game number 2, Silver Remains versus Psychosis. Jumping into draft here, Psychosis has elected the red side. Silver Remains will be on blue, so we'll see what they elect to ban here. Starting out with the Garen ban for the side of Silver Remains. Psychosis, will they continue to pick the same bans? Or will we get a new set here? Twisted Fate going to be the first one, and so it looks like they would like to keep some similar bans here. Silver Remains still going to stick with the Hecarim. LeBlanc going to be the answer for Psychosis. And finally, a Swain ban for the side of Silver Remains. See what Psychosis finishes up with here. Will it be the Smolder? Nope, they continue to pick the Shen. Will Silver Remains pick up that Smolder here? They will indeed lock it in. Silver Remains taking that strong pick. Did get a nerf recently. on this most recent patch, but Psychosis elects to take the Jinx. Will respect and try to take a similar ADC. Of course, Jinx able to scale a little bit faster than the Smolder. We'll have to see if Silvermanes can run this game down. Kayn going to be the jungle pickup for the side of Psychosis, and this is an interesting pairing. Going to take a little bit of time for this Kayn to get online. Silvermanes, though, covering the Nami, one of the best picks with the Smolder. Will be locked in here for the side of Silvermanes. Smolder, Nami, one of the most common pairings that we've seen in TLS thus far. Smolder getting a lot of safety from that Nami as well, and Kai very good on that champion, so excited to see him play it. Vi, though, going to be logged in for Albie. Definitely going to make things a little bit easier on this bottom side by having a lot more power into those bot lane ganks than the Kayn. Able to lock up some of those champions early. Psychosis is going to need to play this bot lane very carefully. If they push out at all and Albie is on that bottom side, he should just instantly be down there. Bard, though, picked for the side of Psychosis, and I actually kind of like this. This is really interesting because it does prevent a lot of what Silvermanes want to do. That ultimate coming out from the Bard prevents the Vi from pressing R, prevents the Nami wave from hitting those priority champions. The question is, how often will Bard be on that bottom side for the side of Psychosis? We'll have to find out. As we return to bans here, Psychosis going to ban away the Orianna. Ahri going to be the response, and Psychosis' final ban will be the Lissandra. So a lot of mid lane focus coming out here in the second round for both teams. Psychosis have identified mid lane as one of the stronger points for the side of Silvermanes. They would like to thin that pool out as much as they can. They also have the priority on whatever mid laner they want. Cho'Gath, the final ban in this game, will be the final ban of the series. Psychosis, what do you choose to do here? Do you blind your top? Or do you take the weeded out mid lane pool and try to pick something high priority there? 8 seconds remain. We do see the time tick away. What will this pick be? Ooh, okay. Kali is going to be picked up, and that is a flex between top lane and mid. Not really seen a lot in this league, and so difficult to tell exactly where it's going to go, but kind of 50-50 in normal solo queue between top and mid lane. We'll have to see where they choose to go, but that is a smart pickup. Definitely difficult to tell where it's going. Anivia, though, going to be the response, and will it be Anivia top? Polaris has been practicing this. Okay, we get the Teemo hover. I don't think it'll be locked in, but you never know. You never know. Polaris, okay, all right, we've we've calmed down a little bit. I understand we're a little bit excited, but let's not throw. As we pick the Gnar for the side of Silvermanes. Now Psychosis, knowing exactly where all these champions are going. And a very good standard teamfight composition built for the side of Silvermanes. Psychosis will elect the Malphite. All right, welcome back. Game number 2, Silvermanes versus Psychosis. A little bit of early action here in the mid lane. Genetics and Albie find themselves in a bit of a sticky situation. Genetics getting very low on this Anivia. Needs to be careful. Good early damage from the side of Psychosis. We'll see if Dusk Legends is able to make something happen. No summoners blown, though. It will be relatively even. Asntil and Polaris going to be battling it again on this top side. Both of these top laners are really wanting to get some early priority. Have to see how that works out for them. Genetics and Dusk Legends also battling it out in this mid lane. Pingu and Demps getting pushed in on this bottom side about as we expect to happen. Well, junglers now rotating over towards their bottom side, and Albi will get spotted out on this ward. We will know what side he's on. Genetics doing a good job though, trading back with this Akali. Will force the recall though. We'll have teleport to get back into lane, so we'll not miss a whole lot. Probably very good early game champion. Genetics needs to be careful on this Anivia not to give away too many kills, make things more difficult for him. We'll pick up that early tier. We'll attempt to scale as far as possible. Dusk Legends electing to take the teleport though. Does use it now, and will be interesting to see. Psychosis though doing a good job of rotating over towards the Scuttle Crab. I'll be electing to give that one up, knowing that more priority is on that bottom side for the side of Psychosis. We'll just go for that top side Scuttle instead. Good awareness from him. Dusk Legends though rotating over will get some vision down and will be able to spot this out. I'll be looking for a player on the top side, but that's until doing a good job of playing safe. Way of pushing in towards him. Will not give any priority to Polaris as Dusk Legends taking a decent trade onto Genetics. Will do a lot of damage. Has to do it all early. Kane looking for an invade here onto Albi. Might have to give up this frog. Will do so and will rotate over towards his wolves. Ooh. Now looking to challenge is Polaris coming around, but as until also rotating. Both need to be very careful. This 2v2 could be very interesting. I'll be trading back and forth. Bard the first to move over, but Pingu is here as well. This could be a 3v3. A lot of attention being pulled here towards this frog. I don't know. I don't think a frog is worth all of this, but we do see a little bit of attention benefiting the Kane a little bit more thanks to the passive. We'll be able to get some of the red stacks off, and in this game, red Kane is going to be so important. We'll be able to interrupt and survive against a lot of what the Silvermane's team wants to do. Blue Kane, not very common right now. Definitely not what we want to see. Dusk Legends trying to trade onto Genetics, but Genetics finds him with the Q. Albi here as well as Brat, and ooh, a flash from Albi. Oh no! Dusk escaping with a sliver of health. Demps now battling it out on this bottom side with Psycho and Dank Pingu. But Kane and Bard are on the way back down. Kane looking for the re-invade. Wants some more action here. Maybe potentially the flank around the bottom side. This could be disastrous. Psycho, though, has to flash away. But is Silvermane's bot lane too far? Flash coming out of the Kane will likely... Oh, Demps hitting the level 6. Will try to get away. Uses both summoners, but first blood going over to Brat on that dragon. Going to feel a little rough. Psycho not able to participate, but also not giving up his life. The bot lane of Psychosis once again starting off strong. Now will they throw around this Drake? Hopefully not again. Top lane relatively even in farm. And items. Polaris goes a little bit aggressive on Aznatil. We'll push that wave in. I'll be not sure where the jungler is for the side of Psychosis, but Mom comes up from Demps. Pingu somehow takes turret aggro here, and Brat now rotating down. Does some damage to this Nami. Not enough for a full-on all-in, but we'll attempt to get something done. Demps now hiding in the wings. Ooh, missing on Psycho, but doing a lot of damage. And Brat trying to help his ADC out. The stun. Okay. Bard's stun, you know, we rarely see Bard. In fact, I don't think I see him very often, even in solo queue games. And yet, somehow, his stun is one of the most obnoxious things in the game, aside from maybe Nautilus Q. the length that thing actually manages to stun is absolutely insane. As we get Kane up here on this top side, Polaris a little bit behind in XP now. I'll be going to start up these grubs, but will be noticed by the Kane. Ooh, the Jinx Rocket coming out. Will manage to land on to Albi, but Dusk going into the Shroud. Will fall to Dusk Legends. Genetics now needs to run for his life. Putting up the wall against the Kane does not do a whole lot, but Genetics managing to get the return kill, and the bubble coming out from Pingu prevents him from continuing. Brat fancies their chances as well, but decides better up it. One grub claimed apiece. Kane will return to claim the final one. Reigns know this is happening, but not able to do a whole lot about it. Demps, though, scaling up on this bottom side, is able to get as many of these stacks as he wants. Not a lot of action happening on this bottom side. Psycho will get spotted out. Not eat the sneeze from the dragon. Both supports now return to lane. Neither level 6 though. And Albi has not yet been able to make a move towards this bottom side. Not able to accelerate this laner very much. That was until trying to do as much damage to Polaris as possible, but he is running out of mana. Polaris not requiring that resource. Now, Kane on this bottom side here. Demps is going to need to run. Pingu using the heal. Does get him away from the Kane W. Albi also on this bottom side here. But both junglers elect to back off. Drake is up and available, but neither team interested in taking this first one just yet. Mostly interested in fighting other places on the map. Dem's now at 80 stacks. Genetics trying to finish his Rod of Ages, will be a little bit late on that item once again. And Pengu doing a good job waiting until his ADC has used his Q to get stacks on his support item. Definitely, as mentioned before, one of the more difficult aspects of this particular bot lane pairing. If you are not aware of how to play with a Smolder, you can potentially cancel his Q. He does not get that refunded. It is a little bit frustrating. As until trading with Polaris on this top side. There's now multiple members of both teams hovering around this bottom side. Genetics going to do a decent amount of damage to Dusk Legends. Dusk not able to secure a kill on this bird in the mid lane. Going to find things a little bit frustrating. Both teams relatively even in the gold graph. Not too many kills in the second game. Psychosis recognizing that this is their playoff on the line. If they lose this game, it might make things a lot more difficult for them to make it in the top teams. They need to win this game against Silvermanes. They want control of their destiny. And now rotating around this top side. Polaris not close to that. Ooh, a good ultimate coming out. Perfect timing from the Kayn. Not able to get the Mega Gnar on Polaris. Will fall on this top side, and as until getting a lead for the first time in this series. We'll have that Frozen Heart completed on the Malphite. Black Cleaver for Polaris. Both junglers also completing their first items. Rod of Ages now being stacked. Will be complete at 22 minutes. 2 minutes earlier than before. Hubris completed 4 demps on this dragon. Once again, an odd choice, but is more viable than the Hubris on Caitlyn. I'll be starting up this Drake, but Kayn is here and has elected for that blue Kayn. Going to be trying to assassinate this dragon. Albie going to be the target. Will try to knock up the Kayn, but good ultimate coming out from Brat. Polaris tries to teleport in to jump in, but will miss that ultimate on the Gnar. Phonetics, now the focus will go into the egg, but not able to get out as Psychosis starting to take control of this team fight, of this Drake. Does that mean they take control of the game? Secure themselves one Drake and a couple of missed plays from the side of Silvermanes. That ultimate coming out from the Gnar, just not able to find anyone. Going to make this game a little bit more interesting, but once again, remember, Demps and Genetics are scaling up. They can afford to take some of these worst team fights so long as they don't drop too much in this game. They are scaling, and Psychosis is once again on the clock. This time a clock they drafted into rather than one that they have found themselves in. Not respecting that Molder pick on red side. But they are doing the right thing. They are taking objectives, looking to accelerate the pace of this game. They have a small gold lead. What can they do with it? Will they do more to take control of this game, or they miss position like Psycho here? The wave coming out the bubble to follow up. Mom going to be the response, and now Albie down here on this bottom side to prevent Dusk Legends from getting a return kill. Polaris in a bit of a sticky situation though. Does he know? And waiting over the wall, just trying to see if Polaris will get low enough. Azatil does knock him up, and the turret will be turned off by the Bard. Polaris falls on that top side to 3 members. Rift Herald being placed on this top side as well. Will not quite secure the turret, but will put them very, very close. As Albie now battling it out with Dusk Legends. Oh, the flash! Attempting to get the kill, but Dusk Legends will fall to Albie. The rest of his team catches up, but it does give Psychosis time to claim the first turret on top side. Good job from Aznatel to secure that objective. Ooh, Albie just a little bit early on the smite, but will be able to get out of there. Genetics now on this top side. Albie needs to run away, cannot recall. And is hunting him. The flash will secure the kill. Lars now attempting to fight back. And I'll be very interested to see if this Blue Cane does pay off. 4-0-3 on this champion right now. Does have very good items. But will need to be careful towards the late game. Champion does fall off a lot earlier. Now rotating towards the top side, doing a good job of trying to find as many kills as possible, and Genetics knows that he is in a lot of trouble. Tries to flash over the cane, but Dusk Legends is close behind. Unstoppable on this cane. Now 3 members up here in response. Not really able to do a whole lot. That's 18 minutes and 155 stacks. Not quite where you want to be. You want to be closer to that 200 mark. Maybe 180. Has been doing a decent job with the amount of fights that he's been given. Not a lot of fights coming out of Psychosis, trying to limit the amount of stacks that they give over to this dragon, but unless you're killing him on repeat, which Demps has been doing a good job of positioning himself well, not finding awkward spots, not giving this cane opportunities to one-shot him. We'll be building what is likely Essence Reaver next item. Aris needs to be careful once again on this bottom side now. He's about to be exhausted, and multiple members of Psychosis down here sniffing around. Dragon spawning in 20 seconds. Psychosis have elected to just start deathballing a little bit. Rat running around with this cane, making life difficult for the side laners. Both of them just dying, and now Polaris may be next up on the menu. 4 members of Psychosis down here. Rat. Oh, a good flash from Polaris. Oh, don't leave the turret. Turns out it does not matter. Gain does enough damage with 2 full items. Side lane's going to not be nearly as safe for the Silvermane's team. Lars, even though he is relatively tanky on this Gnar, has now died 3 times. The multi-man gank. Silvermane's, though, setting up vision along this top side. At 21 minutes, a 2k gold lead for the side of Psychosis. But the problem with deathballing, with running around this way, is that you are giving up a lot of gold and you are not getting a lot for your team. You're giving a lot of XP away. A couple of side laners do manage to catch some of it, but your jungler and your support are focused on running around the map. Going to lose out on some of that experience. Probably, though, 2 levels down on his lane opponent. Rat and Pengu the same amount of XP. Top lane also down by quite a lot. All three members here. Very, very close together. Genetics, though, 2 levels up on Dusk Legends, has not been able to pick up as much XP as this Nivea. Lars looking for Azatil now. Has Albi close by. In the mid lane. They do not know this Baron is going down to 4 members of Psychosis. They're taking a lot of damage, though. If anybody from Silvermanes walks over, oh, they get spotted out. 8k health left. I don't think they can finish this off. The Mom comes out. The wave comes out as well. Pingu throwing that one out there. Psycho's in a lot of trouble, and so is Dusk Legends. The TP coming out for Aznatil and Polaris. Albi close behind as well. Psychosis are pushed off of this Baron, not able to complete it. Taking too much damage in the process, but almost managing to sneak that objective away. Good foresight from the side of Silvermanes. RX Genetics sniffing that one out, preventing the objective from going over. And honestly, good job from Psychosis attempting to sneak that and getting out without losing anyone. If they get it, it is really good for accelerating the pace of the game, able to push down a lot of these turrets. Of course, Anivia does have a lot of good wave clear, but still difficult to wave clear into melee or into Baron minions. Demps, 200 stacks, is getting ever closer to that 225 mark. Will need a Guardian Angel, though, to be able to survive against this Kayn. $15 stacks remaining. Multiple members, though, sniffing around this mid lane. Demps could be in trouble. The turret turned off. Good flash coming out. A good barrier. The wave coming out, but still, Kayn is godlike. Aznatil tanking up as much as he can of this turret. Psycho flashing away from the cease and desist coming out of Albi. Ooh, Kayn on the backside will slay Dank Pingu. Dusk Legends picking up Albi. And a 3-for-0 in the favor of Psychosis so far. They may be able to get this mid lane turret. Genetics does have passive, but needs to be careful. Polaris about halfway on that Gnar bar. Aznatil rotating over towards this Baron, trying to see if the rest of his team wants to do it. There are still members of Silvermanes up that could make this game very difficult if they decide to go for this objective. The ward will be spotted out now. Psychosis elect not to take this Baron. Not confident in their ability to do so. 4K for their side. 24.5 minutes in. Dem's not quite at that 225 just yet. We'll hit it very shortly, though. Let's have that Essence Reaver completed. No stacks on the Hubris quite yet. We'll be going for that Black Cleaver third item. And likely needs to go for a GA. Now at that 225 mark. Needs to be able to survive against this Kayn, against the dive from Aznatil. From Dusk Legends. Drake now spawning in 6 seconds. This will be Psychosis' sole point. They have managed to control all of these Drakes so far. Soul point coming a lot later in this game. Silvermane's not electing to let this one go. Wave coming out from Pengu. Does not manage to steal the Drake. Albi not going over the wall. Good vision setup from the side of Psychosis, as they are definitely giving Silvermanes a run for their money. And now Aznatil going to give Pingu a reason to run. Still trying to crack this mid lane turret. Demps does not have flash. Aznatil presses R. Going to be very difficult for this Smolder right now. Until here in this mid lane does indeed press R. Demps trying to get away, but Psycho is right on top of him. Albi not able to get away from the Kayn either. Dusk Legends very strong. As Psycho gets excited, Genetics doing a lot of damage to Astatil still. Now Ping's going down towards this Baron. Multiple members resetting, trying to get their health bars back. Albeit will be alive again in 15 seconds. Need to take care that they do not throw around this Baron. Psychosis have this game in hand. All they have to do is close it out, but we are getting closer, ever closer to that 35-minute mark. So remains doing a very good job of holding out. Only the outer turrets have fallen. No inner turrets taken for the side of Psychosis just yet. We need to control the pace of this game. Need to push it forward. Need to get ever closer to the end. Because if they don't, Demps will come online. Genetics is already very strong on the Zenithia. And then it will be a battle of positioning. Which ADC can position better? Which mid laner can find the right angles? Lars trying to do as much damage to Aznatil as possible on this bottom side, trying to prevent him from going up towards that Baron, but Baron is now being taken by the side of Psychosis. And they complete this take. They decide to back off of it, trying to bait Silvermane's into it, but Silvermane's doing a good job of not stepping too far forward, not going where they don't have vision. And that blue quadrant looking very scary for them right now. So many members of Psychosis are just waiting for the opportunity. Azatil, though, finds the opportunity onto Demps, but good prevention coming out for the side of Silvermane's. Multiple members going into Zhonya's now, and nobody falling just yet. All the early engage from Psychosis not netting them a kill. Starting to feel a little bit frustrating. They are forced to back off. Already, tides are starting to turn just a little bit. Not able to find the right angles. Demps having that flash available. Able to get away from Aznatil on that Malphite. Not having the effectiveness that he would want. And not able to find the target he's looking for. Needs to find that Smolder. Cannot ult anyone else. The Smolder does not go down. The fight cannot continue. Genetics still having that passive makes him an invalid target. Once it goes down, also a possibility. Dragon Soul for Psychosis spawning in 40 seconds, and ooh, Kayn gets spotted out. Oh no, Brat trying to save his jungler. Wave does come out, and Mom also used. Lars TPing in. I'll be very low on this Y. Going to have to reset. So remains likely going to elect to give over this Cloud Soul. Not a super impactful one. Psychosis will like it on some of their members. Especially the Kayn. Now Ping's going down once again towards this Baron. Do the side of Silvermanes know about this? Psychosis seem a little bit divided in what they want to do here. Going back and forth across the map. I'll be threatening towards this top side. Kayn looking for the angle. Lars and Aznatil not next to their team, but Aznatil will be first to move. Dusk Legend sitting on a ward. Does he know? Looking for that angle on the backside. And Trying to find Polaris. Polaris now exhausted. This is not the time to fight. Oh, a good ultimate coming out from Asintil. Catches both of the carries. Demps managing to get away from... Oh, a good teleport coming from RX Genetics. Gets him out of the fight. Dusk Legends getting stunned up now. Will not be able to get the... Oh, will secure the kill on the Demps, but is traded back. Multiple other members, Polaris and Albi, falling. Genetics just barely able to get out. This Pingu does go down. Dragon Soul elected for the side of Psychosis. Genetics, the only remaining member for this Silvermane squad. As they start to rotate over towards this Baron, can they do it with Genetics still up? That magic resist thread going to be very difficult. That team fight definitely a little more shaky for the side of Psychosis. 32 minutes into this game, and they still have not been able to take this Baron. Going to feel very frustrating for them. That objective would allow them to push the pace of this game even further. They still have collected the soul, so they will feel pretty good about that. But definitely wanting that big purple worm taken out. And they have been in control of the gold lead for most of this game. Has slowly been going up, but now we're about to see... Oh, Polaris, no, you don't want to be there, buddy. We'll take a decent chunk out of his health bar. Now, the Death Bush on the side. Genetics, ooh, just spotted out. Asintil running for one of these carries. Cannot find it just yet. Looking for Demps. Demps does almost have the flash up. Not quite available just yet. Needs to be very careful about his positioning. Dusk Legends, though, creating some pressure on this bottom side. Genetics will now respond. This turret will go down. Albi on the way down. And now Psychosis have the ability to take the Baron. He will sacrifice the mid laner to do it most likely. Yep. Does flash away for some reason. But Baron secured for Psychosis. Very well played from them. A trade of one player for the Baron.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Surely now they can collect some more of these outer turrets as the first one falls on the bottom side. Only 2 outer turrets remaining. Can they crack the base on this Baron push, or will it require an Elder? And despite the gold difference for both of these teams, both playing very well, both making it feel very, very close. Brat trying to find Demps here. Not quite managed to do so. Echo taking some damage from the smolder. Now it quite a few stacks on this champion. And trying to find an angle here. Does have the Edge of Night. And decent amount of armor shred as well. One outer turret remaining for the side of Silvermanes. They are huddled up in their base, trying to find an angle on any of these Psychosis members. Ooh, a lot of damage coming out onto Brat and this Kane. The poke is going to be very rough. Psychosis need to be careful. Oh, and we get a slight pause. We will try to ascertain the reason for that very shortly. Mid appears to be having an issue. We will be getting back into the game shortly. Apologize for that short pause. Right back into the action. Albie now going on to Azatil, forcing the ultimate out of this Malphite, excuse me. But here in the mid lane, Genetics has a good angle. Oh, the good ult from Brat, but Dusk Legends and Psycho both going to fall. Never mind. Oh no, Dusk Legends. Oh, you did not want to use the Zanyas there. A little bit frustrating for that Akali. Two members picked up. Azatil will get this bottom inhibitor in response. Will he lose his life for it as Albie running all the way down. Pilar's taking a lot of damage from these minions. But Albie will find him, and Pingu not too far behind. 1 minute remaining. Good flash from Azatil. If he dies here, it's going to be very difficult for them to fight for this Elder Dragon. And this is where things are going to come to a head. This Elder fight going to be the thing that makes or breaks it for Psychosis. If they're able to pick up this Elder, they can find a pick before this objective. Going to be very big. Demps, though, not electing to build the GA, and I think this is a slight mistake. Really needs that survivability, because the Kayn does have that item completed. It's be very hard to kill him off. Psycho's GA not too far behind either. Genetics going to be in a bit of a rough position. Does flash forward though, fails. Oh, does get the flash though off of the Kayn. Going to feel good, but the TP coming out of Polaris as Azatil is pushing in that top side. Do Psychosis elect to give up this Elder Drake? Are they going to try to trade it for the top lane objective instead? I think this would be a mistake. You know, looking for the steal as the objective will get started up. Genetics will reset. Try and prevent the objective. Mom coming out for Dems, but just not able to find it. Is going to get ulted by the Kayn. Not a whole lot of damage though. Kayn now in a rough position as Dusk Legends finds Demps. Is going to do a decent amount of damage, but Psycho's going to go down to Demps. A trade of ADCs. Genetics is here now as well, and Albie taking out Dusk Legends. And this is what we were afraid of. 38 minutes into the game, the carries have scaled. Azatil doing his best. Going on to Pingu. And still floating around, still has that GA. But 4 members here for the side of Silvermanes. Going to make things difficult, and please just take the Elder Drake. You can kill them afterwards. Don't want to 50-50 this, but going to be very difficult. Oh no! Both junglers failing smite. But it does not matter as Genetics having that passive. And that is an ace in the favor of Silvermanes. This is what I was saying. Silvermanes just needing to hold out, and they do manage to do so. The gold has now shifted far into their favor. Only a 2k gold lead now for the side of Psychosis. We're starting to get to the point where gold does not matter. Item completions going to be almost done for both of these teams, but good response for the side of Silvermanes, fighting back in this match, showing that they are down, but they are not out just yet. Elder claimed for their side for another minute. Baron will be spawning very shortly. And they take this Baron. Lars on this bottom side without TP. Does need to be careful. Will be walking upriver now. No vision for their side. Don't know where a lot of the Psychosis team is. Both teams now hovering around this mid. Lars in a bit of a sticky spot here. Does need to be careful. Oh, Albie will find Azatil though, and the fight is going to kick off. Azatil ulting away. Lars does pop the Mega Gnar. Remains needs to be careful now. Multiple pings coming down directly into this mid lane. Psychosis electing to give up this objective in favor of trying to take more of Silvermane's base. Genetics now recalling. The ultimate will go towards that Baron, but will not be taken by Psycho. Will manage to take the mid lane inhibitor instead. Elder all but gone for the Silvermane's team, but it does give them Baron, which gives them a decent amount of push. Need to be careful of this bottom side. Polaris is going to elect to take care of that as 4 members of Silvermane's pushing it down in mid. Elder will now fall off for their team. A 41-minute slugfest. Only 2k in favor of Psychosis right now, 1.7, but they do still have that soul. Can the Kane find the correct target? Can Dusk Legends find the correct target? Can Azatil find the correct target? Has to be Demps. Genetics still has that passive. And they find a pick. They're definitely hovering around, trying to look for it. Sitting in this mid lane, the tension is palpable for both of these teams. One wrong move would lead to disaster. Would signal the end of this game one way or the other. 2.5 minutes on the next Elder. 4.5 minutes on the next Baron. These objectives sufficiently spaced out. 4 members of each team in this mid lane. The top laners pushing in on top side. I'll be now with the GA completed and not yet having that item returned to him just yet. As until trying to deal some damage to Polaris, but just does not have enough. I'll be now in a bit of a sticky situation. Will get stunned up. Dusk Legends does find him. The wave comes out, but Dusk Legends is stunned up. Mom almost completing the kill there as Pingu has to flash away. Psycho is now excited, and he's running it down. He's finding all the members of Silvermanes. Will find Polaris. Genetics, the final remaining member, will get the passive popped. Polaris falling on the back line, and Psychosis have done it. They have barely managed to beat out the scaling timer. They have managed to find the pick onto Albi, and they have managed to win this game for themselves, marching it down the mid lane with a sufficient minion wave. Plenty of time to take these objectives. GG. Good job, Psychosis, bringing it back 1-1. And what a game. Very close between these two teams. This is exactly what we wanted to see from game number 2. Remains going to ban the Swain once again, and the Shen, of course, going to be banned for the side of Psychosis. Silvermane's going to find their priority pick. Have to see what it is. Oh, the Urgot coming out for Polaris, one of his signature champions here in this series, will be pulled out. Make sure that Silvermanes does not lose again. Psychosis answering back with the Maokai. A good flex pick. Gwen going to be picked up here as well for their side. Maokai and Gwen both decent flexes. Gwen flexing towards that top or the jungle. Maokai top or support. So not a lot of information here for the side of Silvermanes. Could be headed pretty much anywhere. They have 2 more picks to respond with here. Misfortune hovered for Demps in that bottom lane. Will be locked in here, and Rel going to be paired alongside of it. Would have liked to see potentially the Amumu come out. Could still come out for the side of Silvermanes in the jungle, but Braum going to be the response, and this is a very good one. From the side of Psychosis, easily able to block a lot of what Misfortune wants to do. Misfortune having a decent amount of counters picked up already. The Gwen also able to escape that Misfortune ultimate. Lissandra going to be picked up for the side of Psychosis. Sorry, and away. No pickup available for the side of Psychosis. Response will be the Yasuo. Viego coming out for the side of Psychosis. There'll be not a lot of other champions played. We'll ban out one of his final ones. Is Kaisa going to be the final ban for this series? Still remains, what do you do to finish this draft off? Psychosis going to have the priority pick. We'll be interested to see where the jungle ends up going. Will it be Gwen? Will it be Maokai? Or will it be something completely different? Nara going to be the pickup for the side of Psychosis into the Misfortune. And this is actually really good. Pairs very well with the Braum, but does need a little bit of time to stack up that passive. You need to be careful about how Psychosis plays this bottom lane. They have been playing very well. Have gotten first blood in both games on that bottom side. Still remains their final 2 pickups for the series. What will they take here? Bessa picked up for the jungle for Albi. Very strong jungler and definitely able to do well. But Yunara does have some options to get out of that ultimate. So we'll have to see how well Albi can do. Whether he has enough lockup from the Rel and the Urgot to be able to land that ultimate guaranteed. And what Troy will pick in this mid lane. The final pickup here for Silvermane's going to be the most influential. It will be the Ahri. Okay, this is interesting. Not a lot of setup for the Mbessa, but definitely workable as Zed hovered in the mid lane for Dusk Legends. Yana going to be the swap. What will it be? It will be the Zed. Okay, I actually kind of like this coming out from Dusk Legends. All right, game number 3, a best of 1 between these two teams. Winner takes it all. It's a double ward coming out for Psycho and Brat. Not coordinating very well. Polaris getting a little bit of early damage onto Aznatil. Will be decided. Will this game series, the final one remaining. Genetics and Dusk Legends going to be doing their best to get the advantage over one another in this mid lane matchup. That notoriously difficult to play Ahri into. So a good pickup for the side of Dusk Legends. Them's going to have a bit of trouble against Brat on this Braum. Tengu has it all to do in this lane. And if Psycho gets ahead early, could make things very difficult for the side of Silvermane's. That hyper carry potential is there. Not quite as hard scaling as a Smolder. We'll see if Polaris can pop off as well on his signature champion. Genetics taking a bit of damage in this mid lane against Dusk Legends early. Ooh, missing the charm. That's going to feel awful. Aznatil, of course, only has to survive in this lane. Be useful to his team later. Lars with it all to do on this top side. Going to be trying to poke out Aznatil as much as possible. Both junglers on this bottom side now. I'll be a little bit ahead in terms of farm. This bot lane also pushed in and going to rotate over first. Demps needs to be a little bit careful. Polaris just missing the grab. Will not manage to find it, but Albi will get the bottom scuttle. When he rotate over to the top, is this Gwen taking a little bit longer? We'll collect it. We'll head up towards that top side. Good rotations from him. Dusk Legends not electing to take that early recall. Dank Pingu up here on this top side as well. Will mean that Albie will secure both scuttles. Laris doing a lot of damage. Albie finding a potential opportunity, but Laris out of mana, not able. Ooh! Oh! The auto goes off! First blood over to Genetics. Good flash from him. A little disappointing, not quite recognized, but now a fight on the top side as Rel trying to get in there. Azrael really, really low, and now the Gwen does fall as well. Flashes and ignites everywhere. Pingu not required to use either of his sums, as now he is trying to dive. Flashes for this top side. Polaris dealing enough damage. Will lose the Rel, and oh no! Albie going down as well. And only an execution, but not as bad as it could have been. A lot of fighting here in this early game, and both of these teams not taking 1 foot off the gas for this game number 2. They know, or game number 3, excuse me. They remember where game number 1 and game number 2 left off, and they are continuing that with a vengeance. Slightly in the lead of Silvermanes, as they are doing a little bit better in this team fighting. If they don't take their foot off the gas anytime soon, this game looks better and better for Silvermanes. Oh, Dusk Legends, though, does get the return kill onto Genetics, who does use that ultimate. Not able to get away from that Zed ultimate. Will lose a wave and a bit extra in this mid lane. Will be picked up by Albie. Trying to hold this for as long as possible for his laner. Such a good jungler. Deserves MVP just for that move. Laris trying to make some magic happen on this top side. Until doing a good job of just sitting back and collecting these waves. As the first Drake will spawn, will be Hextech. Albie and Polaris on this top side now. Psycho taking a lot of damage from Demps here. Needs to be careful. Azrael popping the ultimate. Oh, a good flash from Albie. Will connect the ultimate. 2 ultimates used onto Azrael, but will collect the kill. Polaris starting to get ahead in this matchup. Going to try to carry this mid game for his team. Psycho and Demps continue to battle it out on this bottom side, neither gaining a clear advantage over the other. Small CS lead for Psycho going to be taken very, very low. Brat not able to block all of that ultimate. Dusk Legends was looking for a play on bottom side, but spotted out by the wards. Plenty of good vision for the Silvermanes bottom lane. Psycho going to need to recall. Oh, Genetics missing the charm through the shadow shift of Dusk Legends. Good timing on him. Genetics now very low on this Ahri. Does have Pingu to protect him in that mid lane should Good Zed ulti come out, excuse me. But now Psychosis looking to take the first Drake. Still remains electing to give this one up early. We'll be looking for that top lane objective instead, knowing that is where they are clearly strongest. As until running from Polaris now. Psycho and Brat doing a good job of holding this lane on their side, jungler on their side, but Azatil going to use his own ultimate to try and escape. Unfortunately, just does not work out for him. Polaris with another kill on this top side, a solo kill this time. Going to be feeling very good on this Urgot. Going to need to be the one that deals with this Gwen. Especially mid-game. Will be interesting to see. Genetics does have the Lost Chapter completed. Does have 2 Amp Tomes in his inventory right now. Potentially going for the Seeker's Arm Guard. Protect him against that Zed ultimate. Does not have any inbuilt way to do so. But could also potentially be going for a Luden's Echo on this Ahri. Not something we typically see these days. Ahri more interested in Malignance. Getting that ultimate off as quickly as possible. As until goes back in on Polaris. Does have the first component of Thornmail completed. The Bramble Vest going to be doing a decent amount to keep Polaris from healing. Polaris not as interested in the passive healing. When now snipping around this top side, trying to see if she can get something back. Will be spotted out by a ward though. Will not be able to make this gank work. We'll just clear out some vision. Brat trying to find Dank Pingu here. Not quite do so. Amps doing a decent job of attempting to bait. So now Dusk Legends will be rotating up towards that top side. Things going down. Polaris needs to be careful. The flash coming out from Azatil. The ult also coming out. Polaris most likely dead. Shut down going over to Dusk Legends. Not have the flash available on the Urgot, but Genetics doing a good job taking something back in the mid lane. Ooh, Dusk Legends very familiar with this matchup, has dodged that multiple times now. Nems and Dank Finger pushing this lane in, but Gwen is on the way down, will now be spotted out by the ward. Good vision from the side of Silvermanes, and Brat missing the ultimate. Dusk Legends collects, or does not collect, sorry, gets collected by this Ahri. Going to have a bit of a rough time here in this lane. Nicholas Sword no longer the best item. The item it once was. Does opt for the first item, Yomu's on Zed. And I'm no assassin player, but I feel like Zed has other options that are a little bit better, but does want to try and catch up with that misfortune. Some of these other dashing champions like the Ahri, like the Ambessa. So sort of makes sense. I can kind of understand where it's coming from. I just don't feel like it's kind of his best damage option. Ooh, speaking of damage options, Albi going on to Azatil. That ult comes out once again, but it just does not matter. The ultimate from Polaris sealing Azatil's fate. Oh, Pingu finding multiple members Both bot laners going to fall here. One collected by Pingu. Demps not able to get that full kill, and Psycho will manage to get out. Having to blow both summoners on this Yunara is not going to feel very good. Genetics trying to get the first turret here, disrespecting a little bit. Oh, a good flash and a good charm. Will survive the ultimate, but the Q coming out will still collect the first turret. Genetics will trade his life for that first turret gold. Not exactly what he wanted, but will take it. Flyers with that Black Cleaver completed. Genetics does opt for the Luden's Echo. Very interesting. Definitely not a bad item on Ahri, and one that I do like. Now, the second Drake will spawn. Started up by Psychosis, but is going to reset. Pingu and Demps trying to create as much pressure on the bottom side. I'll be kind of in an awkward position as Azatil now very, very low. Something's going to have to break soon, and Gwen decides to start off. Pingu trying to get in there. Oh, the unstoppable onto Psycho, and he's just going to fall. Brat not far behind. Albie goes on a killing spree, but is quickly killed off afterwards. The stun coming out from Dusk Legends. Oh, Demps, though, taken very, very low. Will try, but a quadra kill going over to this Gwen. That is not good at all. The Drake will go over to Psychosis, and a quadra kill to the Gwen. Still remains almost managing to win that team fight, but just not able to coordinate quite well enough to make it happen. This game will start to break a little bit away. I think Pingu, though, up here on the top side to keep it in their favor. Will be looking for that top side objective. Polaris is going to have to recall, but Rift Herald not going to be started up just yet. Genetics now on this bottom side has traded mid lane to Demps, who does need to be careful. Going to be clearing this wave out as quickly as possible, and then will try to rotate most likely over to that mid lane. Does not have a turret, though, to protect him. Psychosis likely not trying to give up this Rift Herald for free, though. Dusk Legends looking for a player on the Demps. Will find him with the ultimate. Had to use everything to make that happen, but will secure the kill. A good play in mid. Lars, though, still up and available. Genetics going to try to take this bottom lane turret before TPing into the play. Will successfully collect that, and that is 2 turrets this game for Genetics. Things now going down onto the Rift Herald. Demps will respawn, and Genetics available as well for the play. No TP available for Dusk Legends as until now in a very rough spot. The TP coming out for Genetics when on the run. Brat now in a very difficult position. Will get found out by Demps. Does use it, but Genetics finding the backline, and oh, Alpi with the amazing ult on the Psycho will secure that kill. As until TPing back into the fight. But multiple. Oh no! Brat getting caught out by the charm. Genetics picking up another kill on this Ahri. Does have most of the components of Zanya's available now. Azatil needs to be a little bit careful, but Demps also needed to be careful here. Does have the Bloodthirster, but will it keep him alive? Does manage to survive Dusk Legends ultimate, but does not manage to survive afterwards. Azatil now in a very rough spot. Will try to get out. is ticking down with that ignite, but not quite enough damage. From respawning here. Oh, what a good charm coming out from Genetics. Unfortunately, no follow-up. Azatil trying to create space for his team, and Dusk Legends goes on a rampage as he kills off Dang Pingu, but Brat will fall in response. Now both teams need to be careful as the Gwen looking for the flank here. Albi is here to protect, but Genetics, no mana, no ultimate available. Oh, Polaris now in a bit of trouble. Multiple members falling on the side of Silvermanes. Azatil will manage to get the passive off. Demps trying to kill him off. Not have the damage to do so just yet. Only that Bloodthirster to keep him alive. So many low members of Psychosis resetting. Now this Drake spawning in a minute. Vision being set up by Dang Pingu now in this game. 14 kills to 14 at 20 minutes. There have been more kills in this game than there have been minutes. Vision now being set up around this bottom side. Drake spawning in 30 seconds. Things coming down. Both teams are looking for each other. Until on this top side does not have teleport, and this is a bit of an awkward decision from Psychosis. They may just opt to give this Drake away, or they may believe their 4v5 is stronger. Lars does answer on the top side. Cannot quite tell if he has teleport at the moment. Is going to try to get that top lane turret, or at least push in as far as he can. Oh, a good flanking teleport coming out from this top laner. Azatil now in a little bit of trouble, getting jumped on by Albi, but turn around on the side. Dusk Legends going on to Demps in the back line. Will manage to secure the kill, but Albi trying to get something back. Dusk Legends goes unstoppable. Albi not able to complete the kill, but Polaris picks off Psycho. Brat falling as well. And the Gwen dying on top of it. It gives Silvermanes the advantage on this Drake. Demps the only member to fall once again. 3-for-1 in favor of Silvermanes here. Dusk Legends trying to find this ADC, trying to find these picks. The rest of his team just not strong enough yet. Not able to win against the rest of Silvermanes, and Albi doing a good job finding the correct targets as well. This Gwen was 4 kills up. Now has only secured 1 kill in the last several minutes. Both mid laners with similar scorelines as well. The Sonya's completed for the Ahri now. Another needlessly large rod on the board. How many of those does a mid laner need? The answer is yes. Drake now down. Baron going to be the next objective for both of these teams that is up and available. Neither team really in a position to take it at this point. Silvermanes still a 2k gold lead at 22 minutes. We'll be clearing out some of this vision thanks to Genetics. We'll have multiple turrets down in their favor. Now Gwen is in a very rough position. Oh, Pingu flashing forward using the ultimate, trying to keep people in one position. Demps very, very low, but not quite stunned up as Polaris does manage to get the kill onto Brat. Now Albi is here, uses the public execution to get in, but Polaris falls to the Gwen. 3 kills now coming up for that Gwen. Dusk Legends going on to Genetics, who does not have the ultimate. Oh no, the Q getting missed. Dusk has to run. A double kill for Absentil. They are now in a good position as Demps, the only remaining member. It seems either Demps is the only surviving member or the only member to go down in these team fights. Psychosis showing they still have some signs of life. The gold lead evens up for a little bit. Rift Herald will be auto-summoned. Albi is still down and not able to manually summon that. It will head down the mid lane. The big purple worm will fall to the side of Psychosis. What can they get off of this? There's still a lot of standing gold available for them to claim in this map. Demps will elect to take the Rift Herald. Not sure where he's... Okay, at least he didn't make the mistake of just trying to run it down mid. It was a little bit awkward, but sure. Does not get anything out of that Rift Herald, unfortunately. Psychosis looking to take this mid lane tier 1. Multiple members now down here on this bottom side. Drake not spawning for 2 minutes, and they're not actually taking this turret, which I don't really understand. Maybe trying to keep the Ahri away from Psycho. Because they do have that ward that Gen X was sitting on. Ooh, almost managing to charm the Gwen there, but does manage to dash away from it. Now Psycho will feel safe enough to walk up to this turret and complete the kill on it. Polaris sniffing around, trying to see if there's a fight. Dusk Legends also waiting in the wings. Now this game will calm down a little bit. Polaris taking some damage. Is relatively healthy on this Urgot. Brat now in the awkward position. Does manage to jump back to his team. Dusk needs to be careful here. Those legs do hurt. Does do a decent amount of damage. And now Gwen on the backside here. Oh no! Polaris missing the ultimate. The Gwen tanking up the turret. Will go down. Albi on the way. Oh, a good ultimate from both Pingu and Demps. The public execution coming out of the flank from Genetics collects Psycho. Brat going to fall as well. And now Asentil needs to run for the hills, but having to flash over the Raptor pit. Gwen is here. Could look a little bit sticky as Albi now in a bit of trouble. Pingu trying to save his jungler. Demps is here as well. The charm coming out from Genetics does go into the Zanyas, but oh, Dusk Legends is now here as well. And Psychosis turns it around, an ace for them. Psychosis now taking the gold lead will take this third Drake for themselves. Sole point for this Psychosis team. They're edging ever closer to putting Silvermanes in the defeated column. And I have no particular affiliation with either of these teams. However, in the poll put up by Horizon earlier today, I did vote for Psychosis to win. And I am very interested because they seem to be able to do it. They have all the tools, they just need to put it together. We'll see if they continue to do so. And not spawning for another 2.5 minutes. Demps on 2.5 items now. Yunara also on 2.5, but much closer to that Infinity Edge. Only 700 gold away. Both of these teams showing that they have fight, showing that they have spirit, showing that they want this game. Polaris now 2 levels behind as the Till on, oh, excuse me, only 1 level as he did just level up. I think you're rotating down. We'll try to make this an uneven fight, but the ult coming out from Asentil. Oh, Polaris, you cannot miss those, buddy. You've got to land it. Chasing this will take so long. But Asentil will fall in the end. Will not likely make it out as Dusk Legends in a little bit of a sticky situation on the top side. Turret goes down and he does manage to collect Genetics. Ahri going to fall, and my goodness, this tree takes so long to fell. That passive healing doing so much, but Polaris and Dang Pingu do manage to get it done in the end, but at what cost? 3 members of Psychosis in the top side have now taken 2 turrets. Psychosis playing the macro well, have taken almost all of the outer turrets. Only 2 remain, the inner middle and inner bottom turrets. Final ones for this team. They have collected most of the gold remaining to them on the map. So remains starting to fall farther and farther behind in this matchup. They need to find some picks. They need to find some isolated members. And they need to kill them off quickly. Because if they don't, they take too long, like the kill on bot side to Azatel. Going to lose a lot on the opposite side of the map. They're now spawning in 5 seconds. Bingo and Albi walking out together to try and get some vision down. Will find some of it, but will not catch all of it as Polaris and Azatil now going at it again, but this time it's a 2v1 in the other direction, and Dusk Legends does a hell of a lot more damage, but Pingu and Albi are here. Azatil using the ultimate, but the public execution comes out onto Dusk Legends. He uses the ultimate to try and get away, does manage to do so, but Genetics is chasing him down, goes back in, but only to his death, as now the rest of Psychosis are here. Triple kill for the Gwen. You kill off the mid laner, but at what cost? The Drake, or excuse me, the Baron will go down to Psychosis, and this might be the end of the game. As until just creating so much space, so much time, living for so long, and even though Dusk Legends goes down, does not matter. As Pingu, the one, or excuse me, Demps, once again the only member of his team remaining alive. Baron will go down, and Demps and Azatil now battling it out, and Demps just does not have the damage, does not have the eye edge, does not have armor pen for this tree. No axe to speak of either. No black cleaver available for this misfortune. 0, 5, and 10 on this champion here. Going to feel pretty bad. Psychosis doing well in these team fights. Looking for the Ocean Soul, and this would be a very good soul for them to have. Polaris in the bush, but cannot stay here as Psychosis trying to look for this mid lane. Dusk Legends taking a lot of poke here on this Ahri. Azatil is here and going to create a lot of space. You have to kill the Gwen. Mid lane inhibitor turret will fall and the base is cracked. I'll be looking for the angle here. Polaris as well. Oh, will find the public execution onto Psycho. Will go in. Pingu trying to follow it up, but Brat doing such a good job of preventing Demps from doing anything. Dusk Legends will fall, shut down by Demps, but the rest of Silvermanes is falling as well. 3 members available for their side, but Azatil doesn't have a whole lot of damage here. Polaris onto the Gwen, will try, but not able to finish him off. A double kill for this Gwen. And they will ace in the base of Silvermanes to finish this one off. GG's to this Psychosis team, knocking the members of Silvermanes down a peg. Welcome back, everyone. We have the jungler for Psychosis here. Now, I have a question for you. How do you pronounce your in-game name?
Cafe Muy.
Cafe Moy. Okay, that was what I guessed, but I wasn't entirely sure. So I'm glad we've got that cleared up. But man, that Gwen performance was absolutely insane. A quadra and several triples for your team in that final game. How are you guys feeling?
Oh, we were just really, we just wanted to win. After the first game, we kind of just took a step back, said, okay, let's just reset mental and let's just leave nothing else on the table. Let's just go for it.
Yeah, you guys definitely left it all out on the table. That second game was definitely a little bit rough. A 45 minute banger. That is definitely hard to win, but you guys pulled through. So congratulations. How are you feeling now that Silvermanes is knocked out of the undefeated club?
I mean, it feels good. They were talking a lot of trash to us earlier, so it kind of felt nice. But they did a very, very good job. They played very, very well as a team.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, you guys played well as a team as well, so it was really exciting to watch, and you guys definitely gave us a fun match. Anyone else you want to shout out on your team?
Shout out to everybody. They all played out of their minds those last 2 games, and they kept their mental really cool, especially after the first one where you get stomped that hard. It's pretty hard to mentally come back from. So props to them.
Yeah, for sure. Well, props to you guys all, and props to you for your player of the series. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of your night.